WHM.com.
It's 16 and a half after 8 o'clock, and we make our way to our Newsmaker line as we welcome back to the program Larry Falzon with Wigod and Falzon. It's the early July edition of Legal Bites here on AM Jackson. Larry, good morning and welcome back.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing well. Everything well in your world?
Great. Yeah, everything's fine. I like the opportunity to bump in here for a couple minutes to give what I call a public service announcement.
Sure.
So it's summertime. Finally, it's summertime. And,
Yeah.
You know, it's 4th of July coming up, and I'm taking Bumstead, my English Bulldog, up with me. We're heading up north. And I did some research, and I wanted to, kind of tell your listening audience to be a little more vigilant with the weather changing to the hot weather, because children and pets left alone in a car is a really serious problem in the country and the state. So just a few facts. Approximately 39 children died in hot vehicles last year. Hundreds of pets died, and 855 pets were rescued. The fire department just comes and smashes your window and gets the pet out of that condition. People don't realize that if it's 72 outside, which is not awfully hot, it can get up to 116 inside the car. And so when they leave their pets or their children to run inside a store for a few minutes, if they're in there for 10 minutes, their lives can be in danger. And it occurs because the brain actually boils. They get brain damage. So I just think people should be more vigilant about that. I know we live busy lives, and people, they're running around, and it's a hassle. Get your kid out of the car, out of the seat, and, what am I going to do with my pet? So, but there are penalties in Michigan for these things. For children, if there's no injury, it's a low misdemeanor, up to 93 days in jail. If it's physical harm to the child, it's up to a year in jail. And if the child dies, it could be a felony up to 15 years in jail. Not to mention the awful fact that, you could cause your own child's death. So word to the wise, if you can, leave the windows open. I happen to be lucky. I've got an older model Jeep, and it'll keep running. So if I have to run inside the store, I leave the air conditioning on. I know a lot of people get uptight about that because I'm running the car. But the fact is, I'm not going to let my good friend Bumstead get in any kind of heat stroke by leaving him alone with the car off. So just a word to the wise, and hopefully people will be more vigilant. And I just wanted to share that as a public service announcement from Wigod and Falzon.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. And Bumstead is such a cool companion. He's so fun. Yeah. He's got that. And especially with those breeds, because I've got Bostons, they've got that short, snout also. They overheat quicker than a lot of other dogs do. So they do overheat quick. Let me ask you this, if you don't mind, just a couple questions. If, let's say, somebody sees a parked car in one of our local shopping establishments with a dog inside, as an attorney, what's the best course of action at that point? Because they don't want to open themselves up to any liability if the dog's not in danger. But what do they do?
Well, you call police, because you don't want to do self-help. You don't want to break the person's window or try to break into the car. The best action is to pick up your cell phone, call the police, maybe the fire department, but probably 911 is the easiest call. They'll get a officer local to go over there and assess the situation, and they have the authority to break into the car and get that pet or child out. So that clearly is the best, and really the only thing you can do. I would totally counsel against you taking action into your own hands. So you want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
I pulled up to a restaurant to meet some attorney friends of mine for breakfast, and I pulled next to a car that had a dog inside, and it was hot. It was summer out, and all the windows were up. And I went inside and I was talking to I got to the table and I said out loud, I can't believe these jerks left this dog in a car without ventilation. And when I went, when I finished breakfast, went outside, they had stuffed all the locks of my vehicle with toothpicks.
Oh my gosh.
So self-help is not a good idea no matter what you do. And I was trying to send a message, obviously, but, people are funny.
Oh, man. Well, on the other side of that, if like you've done, and I've done too, I left Daphne in my car before, but I've got the remote start, and I know how long it runs. Air conditioner runs when the remote starts on, so I'm keeping track of it. And I've actually walked out of the line before because it was taking too long, and I went back out to my car before it shut off again. If it's on a hot day, or I mean the adverse of that, and we're not thinking of winter now. If it's on a cold day, is it as the pet owner, should you like leave a note up in case you do have any Karens who might be out there concerned about the animals? What do you do to protect your property and your pet from anybody who might want to take matters into their own hands?
That is a good question. I never thought about putting a placard up. They're very sensitive in some states, the people out there. I remember being in Colorado once, and, I pulled up to a hotel, and the guy, I don't know what you call him, the maitre d' or doorman, I said, we're just here to check in. And he said, well, let's first, and he reached into my car and shut my engine off. And I'm like, oh, man, if you did that in Detroit, you could come out without an arm. So don't do that. Just ask me, right? So people do get crazy. And maybe a placard, the car's on because I have a pet inside. That might, baby on board, pet on board, cars running. That's not a bad idea. You get a new marketing ploy there, Mark.
There you go.
You can make a fortune.
Well, I'll add it to the list of ideas, I guess.
Right.
Well, if it's something you do often, it might be worthwhile. It's so infrequent with me and Daphne, but anyway, just a thought, I guess. But yeah, it's those things that you do see, and you do see it on. It's rare, but you do see it with the pets in the car. As long as I've been around, I don't ever feel like I've seen a kid left in a car. But I mean, that would just be a horrific thing to see, especially on a hot day.
Yeah, I'm sure the authorities would look favorable on you if you did do self-help, but I wouldn't have. I mean, you can get a cop there pretty quick, And I just wouldn't. I wouldn't advise doing that. I would just stand by, make sure the child's not in distress, and wait for the police.
Well, if anybody has any legal questions, or I know you have an office here in Jackson, if they're just looking for some advice to get the conversation started, best way to get a hold of Wigod and Falzon, Larry?
Boy, the best way is just to call the 1-877-2-GET-PAID. That directs you to our main switchboard, and we can direct from there. We'll be happy to come out to your home. We'll be happy to meet you at the office in Jackson. We'll do whatever you want. As far as the lower peninsula is concerned, we're statewide, so we'd love to help you. And I just had a call from Jackson the other day, and they just wanted some quick advice. Happy to do that. Didn't charge them, never charged for advice, and got them on their way down the right path. So, that's the way to do it. 1-877-2-GET-PAID.
Very good. Well, Larry, as always, a pleasure. Tell your buddy I said hi, and we look forward to talking with you again next week, okay?
Okay, very good, Mark. Take care.
We'll talk to you soon. Larry Falzon joining us here with Wigod and Falzon Legal Bites on AM Jackson. News Talk 970 AM, 101.5 FM. All good news comes your way next. Jackson Magazine in the building coming up with Jenny Cronkite on News Talk 970 AM, 101.5 FM. Good morning.
Par for the Course is back. Join me for a special golf-themed edition of Talkback